Hello and welcome to this video guide on how to organize your research using Zotero, an open source citation manager. In this video, we're going to cover how to create a Zotero account, how to populate your Zotero web library with sources, and how to use that library to organize your research and create citations and bibliographies for your research projects. But before we begin, I should probably explain what Zotero is and why it's useful. So Zotero is an online application called a citation manager. You use it to collect and organize your research sources, and can also use it to generate citations and bibliographies for these resources in a variety of different research styles. So why should you consider using Zotero? Because organization is one of the key components to a successful research project, and we don't spend a lot of time talking about it. Think about it for a moment. Whether you're writing a paper, creating a poster, or putting together a presentation, a research project involves not only finding sources, but once you've found them, keeping track of them, remembering which quote or citation goes with what source, and generating the citations and bibliography for the project. And let's not kid ourselves. For some of you, we're not talking about one research project, we're talking about one research project per class per semester. That's a lot of stuff to try and keep straight in the midst of everything else you have to do. So citation managers like Zotero are tools to help make the process of organizing all these sources and citations easier, particularly when you have more than one research project going on at the same time. Now, the other benefit of a citation manager, and for some it might be the more attractive one, is that citation managers like Zotero are designed to construct citations direct from a source's metadata, the information about the source, if you will. And as such are set up to create citations for items in a lot of different formats, including web pages, videos, news articles, and other things beyond that. And also, in the case of Zotero, it can be set to do so in over 10,000 different citation styles. So you don't have to repeatedly go back and check the style guide or the per-dual when you have a bunch of different stuff to cite. Now, I should be clear here that Zotero is not the only type of citation manager out there. There are a few different citation managers available, including EndNote and Mendeley. There are 3 reasons we're suggesting you give Zotero a try. First, the price. Zotero is free to use in both the web and desktop versions. Second, Zotero is open source, so it's not owned by one of the major publishing companies. And finally, Zotero is pretty easy to use. That said, if you're more familiar with one of those other citation managers, or if you feel it works better for you, great, go for it. So how do you create a Zotero account? To start out, you need to go to https://www.zotero.org, and when you get there, you click on the Login button here. Now, as you don't already have a Zotero account, your next step is to click on the Register for a Free Account link here. At this point, you'll need to create a username and provide Zotero with an email address. You'll also have to create a password and go through the normal CAPTCHA confirmation to prove you're not an evil robot. Once you've registered and activated your account, you can log into your account on the Zotero website. So how do you populate a Zotero web library? Well, for starters, we need to go back to Zotero.org and click on the Download button here. This will take you to a page that will give you the option to download the desktop version of Zotero and the Zotero Connector browser plugin. Now, while the desktop version of Zotero is also very useful, we're going to focus on the web version in this video, so all we're going to do here is click on the button to install the connector. As I am using Chrome, it is defaulting to my browser, but there are connectors available for Edge, Firefox, and Safari as well. Now, once you've downloaded the connector and activated it in your browser, it should appear in your toolbar as a button. As you can see there, that's what it looks like in my browser. Yours might look slightly differently. Once you've got the connector activated, you can go to any sources record page, like in OneSearch as we see here, or one of our databases, and hit that button. When you do, it'll scrape that page for the information for that particular source and add it to your web library. If direct access to a PDF document is also available, it will add a copy of the PDF to your web library as well. You can also save web pages, blogs, online news articles, and YouTube videos in the same way. So now that we've put a few things in our web library, let's have a look at the various things you can do in that library, including creating citations and bibliographies. To do this, we need to go back to the Zotero website, and since we've already logged in here, we're just going to click on the web library link that's highlighted here. Now, there are a couple different things to notice here with your online library. First off, here in the center area are the sources you've brought into your library. The little icons on each line help you tell which source is a video, a book, or an article. If you click on one of those sources, you can see a summary of the citation information in the column on the right hand of the screen. You can also manually edit this information if it's not correct, as sometimes happens when the data gets imported. On the left side of the screen, there's a menu with My Library displayed at the top of the column. If you hover your mouse over the My Library option, you'll see a plus sign appear. Click on that sign and you can create a new collection on the page, which appears as a folder. You can drag any of the sources in your library into these different folders, which will allow you to organize the resources you've found according to the class or project they're needed for. Now let's say you're writing your paper and you need to cite one of those sources. You can open up the folder, highlight the source you want to cite, and click on the Create Citations button here. A window will pop up providing the in-text citation or footnote for that citation. You can choose the default style by selecting it from this drop-down menu. To add the citation to your paper, you just need to click on the Copy to Clipboard button here and then paste it into your paper. To create a bibliography or works cited page for your project, all you need to do is select the sources in your collection folder that you've cited. You can select more than one source at a time by holding down the Control or Command key if you have a Mac, and then clicking on the Create Bibliography button here. Once again, a window will pop up with a generated bibliography that you can copy and paste into your paper. As with the citation generator, you can select the citation style you want to use from the drop-down menu here. And those are the basics of organizing and citing your work using Zotero. If you have any questions about using this tool or about citation in general, you can always ask a librarian. You can contact the University Library via email at libraryhelp, one word, @cpp.edu, or through the 24/7 chat application on the library homepage. Or you can talk to a librarian in person by coming to the circulation desk on the second floor of Building 15 and asking to speak to a librarian. Thank you for watching.